let's look at this problem. So first, let's understand what we're looking at. I've got a monomial on top being divided by a monomial on bottom, and the whole thing is being what? Squared. So first thing I'm going to do is I like to simplify what is inside the parentheses. Okay? Now, this a is to the first power, and this b is to the first power. Okay? So I'm doing a squared divided by a to the first, and that gives me what? A to the first where? On top. Now look, the 2 on top is bigger than the 1. So your a to the first, your result will go on top. If the bigger exponent were on bottom, your result will go on bottom. So I've got a on top, and then b squared divided by b to the first is b to the first on top. So all that's left on bottom is a 1, right? And it's all being squared. Now this a is to the first and the b is to the first. So now I need to take a to the first and square it. What does that equal? A squared. You don't add the exponents here. This is a power being raised to another what? So yeah, power to a power, you multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And then b to the first squared is b to the second. And that's your answer right there. Okay, let's review this real quick. If I have x squared times x to the 5th, how many bases do I have? 2 bases being multiplied, so you add the exponents. So that would be x to the 7th, right? But now look right here. If I have a power being raised to another power, see just one base, right? I've got a power being raised to another what? In this case, I what? Multiply. That's x to the 10th. So that's exactly why right here, this is not x cubed, is it? Because I've got a power being raised to another power, so I multiply. Okay, so write this one down and let's work it. So when I work one of these, what I like to do is I like to simplify what's in the parentheses first and then raise it to the second power. Okay, so 2 divided by negative 4 reduces to be what? 1 over negative 2. And then I've got x to the 4th divided by x squared, which is x to the second on top. And the reason it is because 4 minus 2 is 2. And then z to the 5th divided by z squared is z to the 3rd on top. And it's all being squared, isn't it? Now we've got to square each thing. Now this 1 is not an exponent, is it? What is it? A coefficient. So you don't do 1 times 2, do you? Okay, so I need to do 1 squared, which is 1. X squared squared is x to the 4th. And z cubed squared is z to the 6th. Now on bottom, I have negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive what? 4. Now we don't generally write this 1 in front, so we'll put our final answer as x to the 4th, z to the 6th, all over 4. Now if you do write it, it's not wrong, but you need to understand that both of these are the same. Okay, so let's do this one. I need you to first write it down. So just like the previous ones, I like to simplify first, but in this case, the first thing I have to do is not simplify. This exponent right here is negative, which prevents me from simplifying this first, doesn't it? So what do I need to do with this? What would make this exponent positive?
Move it to the bottom?
Not move it to the bottom. Normally that would be right, but since the whole thing is being raised to a negative exponent, what do you do to the fraction? No, you can't square it. Can't multiply everything by anything to get, you're trying to make this exponent positive. That's your first job. So just to give you an example, if we have a fraction like 1 over 5 being raised to the negative 2 power, the way that you make this exponent positive is to flip the fraction, and that makes the exponent positive, like that. Okay? So we need to do the same thing in this problem. We need to flip the fraction, so it'll be negative 3x squared y to the 4th, z to the 6th, all over positive 2x cubed, y cubed, z squared. And now since I flipped the fraction, you see I took everything that was on bottom and moved it to the top, and I took everything that was on top, moved it to the bottom. When you flip the fraction, this exponent then becomes a positive 2. And now we can do what we normally do. We can simplify what's inside. Negative 3 over 2 won't simplify, so I'm going to write negative 3 over 2. Now what is x squared divided by x cubed? X to the what? Where? X to the first power on bottom. What you do is you say 3 minus 2 is 1, and then the biggest exponent's on bottom, so your result goes on bottom. And then I do y to the 4th divided by y cubed, and that gives me what? Where? Y to the first on top. And then I have z to the 6th divided by z squared, which is? Z to the 4th on top, and that's all being squared. Now that I've simplified what's in the parentheses, I need to square it, don't I? Negative 3 squared is 9. Y to the first squared is y to the second. Z to the 4th squared is z to the 8th, not 6. You don't add the exponents. You multiply them because it's a power to a power. X to the first squared is x to the second, and I forgot to square 2. 2 squared is 4. You having fun? What you so tired for? It's only Tuesday or Wednesday.
Exactly.
It's hump day.
It's church day.
Whoop whoop. I knew that.